Look, we all got a broke story, but I was at the point at which I was so broke. I was buying meat once every 2 weeks when I got paid, okay? And it was when I said these three words. These three words. I got a full master's paid. I got room and board paid. And I got a stipend. And I got a stipend. And I got a stipend. Hey everybody, it's Thais with Abundance Nation. Welcome back. For those of you who are new, I talk all things money, love, and happiness and how to achieve them in 100% magnitude with the law of assumption. And so these three words, okay? I mean, I was living what I wanted to do. I come from the Sex and the City era, okay? And so I had just graduated college. I had just finished up a 2 year internship. And I said to myself, okay, I'm going to strike out. You know how we do, we strike out. And so I did. I did. I went out into the world. And let's just say I was living my dream life, but I wasn't living it wealthily. Wealthily, that's not even a word. Baby, it wasn't, I was doing it, but I wasn't doing it as well as I could have. Okay. And it was when I started reflecting and looking back, I was like, I don't know. I mean, this isn't that fun. People try to make it fun, like society, like, oh, you know, those struggle times when all you ate were ramen noodles and this and that, because that's how people connect. Do you realize that more people connect with a poverty mindset than they do an affluent mindset or an abundance mindset? Think about it. How many more people will jump in and be like, oh, yeah, I experienced that too. I experienced that too. I experienced that too. I can honestly tell you, I did not experience that until I became an adult on my own. I didn't grow up that way. And sometimes what will happen is when we get into a collective consciousness in a way of thinking, we'll start to think how everybody else thinks. And that's what had happened. I had finished my 2 year program where I was living in the best place that you could live outside of Philly. I had money, I had this, I had that. And then I went on my own. I'm like, I'm supposed to struggle. I'm supposed to struggle because that's what everyone tells me, that I'm supposed to struggle because it's my first real job and yada, yada, yada. No, you don't have to if you don't have to, if you don't want to. People like to make themselves feel better by telling you that you must start at the bottom in order to get to the top. And so this is how we close that gap. Okay. This is how we close that gap. And so as I began to continue to live this way, right? I'm, eating beans and rice. I mean, you talk about here lately, I said I need to go back to the beans and rice because what folks won't tell you, when you get some money, you will be eating better. And when you eat better, what happens? You gain weight. Just being honest, okay? But anywho, I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then an opportunity came, okay? An opportunity came. They said, Thais, do you want to be a teacher? And I was like, I was really going back and forth with it because I was like, well, do I really want to? I don't know. I've always heard that teachers are broke. They don't do this. They don't do that. And at this time that I'm working where I'm working at a nonprofit, working at a nonprofit for adults with disabilities. Okay. And so my roommate at that time, see, this is how the universe works. You may not know that you're consciously creating the life that you want, but my roommate at that time was a teacher. And and I remember I sat down, I talked to her about it when I got the email. They're like, we'll pay for everything. You just got to move back to Memphis. And I was like, I don't know if that's what I want to do because I'm living in Philly. It's my town. I love it. I just love everything. And so she told me, she said, look, if you choose to do this, you need to make sure you're a special education teacher. And so I said at that time these three words. I said, it is done. It is done. I said, if I'm to go back, I'm going to do a sped teacher. I need all my tuition paid. I need my room. I need my board, and I need some stipend because I need some money. I need money. And at this time that I'm living in Philly doing all this, I didn't have a car. My mom had multiple cars. Look, my mama is a boss, okay? She'll tell you number one that she's not all about money and this and that. But baby, having two or three cars and all this stuff, I'm like, yeah. Anyway, so my mom had given me her car. It was an older one, right? Because she wanted to make sure she proved a point. I didn't get to drive her new car, but I could have the older one. And I didn't have a car. I didn't have anything. How about, okay? I said, it is done. I said, okay, I'm going to do it. It is done. So before I even had a chance, to put in a notice, because even in those days, even though people were honoring 2-week notices, it was told in my circle, you never let them know that you're leaving until you leaving, okay? Because people would be like, all right, peace, deuces, all right, and then you be stuck trying to, oh, my check. We know how it goes, okay? I've been there myself. And so before I could even put in my notice, get this, I started getting this feeling that there was going to be some type of layoff. And I remember sitting in my boss's room. Now, this is before I was aware of my spiritual gifts, the gifts of psychic abilities, clairvoyance, being able to clairaudience, hearing these things. There's lots of different things I'm in tune to. I went to him and I sat down in the chair in his office. I said, are we going to get laid off? And it was funny the way he kind of like, what makes you say that? I was like, I don't know. I just have this feeling. He said, no, we just did your performance. You're doing well. I had just gotten a raise, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, no, 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 no. 2 weeks later, I get this feeling. To bring my jump drive to work. Okay, remember, I said it is done. I'm going to go back. I'm going to be a teacher because they have met my requirements. They're going to pay for my master's degree, room and board, give me money every month. Do you know I got laid off? I brought my jump drive to work that morning. I pulled off my little stuff. You know how that is on a work computer, baby. You been putting some stuff on you're supposed to be putting on. You be working on your projects and stuff. I had I had cleaned it off, right? That morning we got laid off. Right after I had completed that. There were 2 rooms, okay? 2 rooms. The room I was in got laid off. The other room got to keep their job. And I was like, I remember crying. I was like, but I was leaving. I remember telling my boss, I was like, well, I was going to leave anyway, so it all works out. And then I got unemployment. I ended up making more on unemployment at that time. I made almost as much in unemployment as I was making working every 2 weeks. Look at God. So then I got to buy a car. I said, it is done. It is done. I got to buy a car. So I went off to grad school with a check for 2 years, or those 99 months. I got to buy a car. I got a free degree and room and board and a stipend. It is done. So what are you ready to say it is done to? So whatever you want, you need to follow it with, it is done. It is done. And then you allow it to work. You allow it to work. And something that you have to keep in mind is, I always talk about my manifestation wall. I got something up here. It says, everything that does not align resolves itself, period. So when you say it is done, know that anything and everything that does not align is going to be removed and your blessing is going to come. So do not say it is done unless you want it to move fast, okay? Because it moved, okay? This was spring. You got to turn in your transcripts and your this and your that. By May, that was it. I was packing up my bags and leaving Philly to go move back to Memphis in August with a fully paid master's degree. It is done. So say those 3 words. Set your intention. I am this. It is done. If you say I am a multimillionaire, it is done. Then be prepared for the movement. But don't say it unless you're ready. It is done. Thanks so much for watching this video. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.